So let's get rolling. This week's hot topic for Stock Talks is a very interesting one. It's a very important one for a lot of stock investors because you're going to see a lot of things happening in the market. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So this week's hot topic is earnings season. Now, if you've been watching stocks or you've been watching any news about stocks, one of the things you probably heard mentioned is earnings season. So let me explain what earnings season is. Earnings season is pretty much where a large number of major public companies are announcing their earnings. Now, a lot of these companies are going to be talking about how they did in Q4 of 2020. So they're going to be wrapping up how their year ended. Now, why is that important? Because the way they talk about their results, it will impact the confidence that people have in the market. So if you have a lot of companies who they didn't meet their analyst expectations or they underperformed for the year, that's going to have a very big impact on what people think about the stock market and their confidence of whether they'll buy, whether they'll sell. Now, if you have a lot of companies that came out and said, hey, we blew past the expectations, what that will do is it will raise the confidence level of investors and they'll be more likely to buy in different stocks and you'll probably see an uptick. But the big thing to be mindful of is that a lot of companies are going to be announcing how they did. And, just to give you an idea of that here, let me share something with you. So if I pull this up, as you can see on Markets Insider, what is showing you is these are all of the companies that announced on January 25th. So Monday, January 25th, these are all the companies that announced their earnings. And as you can see, there's like 5 pages of companies that made announcements today on how they did. Now, if we go and we look at, the 26th, and we say, all right, who announces on the 26th? Your major players like Microsoft, Visa, Johnson & Johnson, Verizon, Novartis. You have a ton of companies that are making announcements. Like I said, you got 6 pages here. And then you go to the 27th. You got Apple, Tesla, Facebook. You got AT&T, Abbott, Boeing. You go to the 28th. So this week is jam-packed with a lot of earnings calls and that's why they call it earnings season, because a ton of companies are going to be making announcements. Now, the thing to look out for your stocks are, depending on how those announcements go, that will impact what goes on. Now, although this is earnings weeks, there will be some carryover. There will be other ones that carry over into the following week. There will be more companies that are making announcements. And not only are they making announcements, they're having what you would call their earnings call, where the CEO and the CFO, they get on a webcast and they talk about, hey, this is what happened in the last quarter. This is what's going on. This is what our future plans are. And this is what we think about it. And actually, this is how we think we're going to do in the current quarter. And that's going to be very important for a lot of businesses because analysts are constantly watching to see, all right, did they live up to their expectations? Now, next week's for next week's hot topic, we're going to talk about, the analysts. And I'll give a little bit of insight of my experience when I used to work for a Fortune 500 company. And my job was really reviewing with the analysts, working with them day in and day out. So I'll share a little bit of that. But the hot topic for this week is earnings season. So keep an eye out for that because you're going to see a lot of fluctuations happen in the market depending on what these major companies are saying about their performance. If the major companies are doing well, that means overall people may have a little bit more confidence in what's happening in the market. If the major companies aren't doing so well, then people might not have as much confidence. So the other thing that I wanted to call your attention to that we're going to be doing this week is the stock of the week. Now, this week, I'm just going to let you know, we're going to talk about FuelCell this week. Now, FuelCell is a stock that has been getting a lot of attention. A lot of people have been looking and checking out what's going on with FuelCell, putting money into it, seeing it grow, seeing it move around. Well, we're going to do an actual deep dive on that stock this week. So this Wednesday, look out for the Stock Talk, and we're going to dive into FuelCell to see what's going on, what's happening with FuelCell. The other thing I want to talk about is you can go to the YouTube page and you can definitely check out all of the hot topics that we talk about, and you can see the prior stock reviews and the stocks of the week that we have reviewed, where we do a deep dive. We talk about their product strategy, we talk about their financial, we talk about what's going on there, and also giving you insight and tips of, hey, if you're looking at this stock, hey, here are some things to keep in mind, here's some things to take a look at. And then also for those that are very interested in getting even more, you can check out our Smart Investor and the VIP Investor community, because we do one stock a week that we review here. But when you can become part of the Smart Investor community, we actually put out more content where we go in deeper dives on different companies that you may be considering for your portfolio. We actually go through, we give them a grade to say, hey, we give it an A, B, C, a D. I mean, we're going to be completely honest based on what we see and giving you our perspective, sharing our thoughts. And I guess you can think of it as an opportunity to help do the homework before you put your money into something. So again, the hot topic of this week is earnings season. And as you saw from the clip that I shared, or the page that I scrolled through, there are a ton of companies that are announcing their earnings. So you're probably going to see a lot of fluctuation happening in the market this week, and it will carry over into the following week. So be on the lookout for the top companies that you're looking at when they release their earnings and what they have to say about what they think they will do in the coming quarters.